Greetings, and welcome to the Saved by Nostalgia podcast.
I love the Power Glove. It's so bad.
I feel the need for speed.
Sweep the leg. You have a problem with that.
Dead or alive, you are coming with me.
Look what you did, you little jerk.
Murdoch. I'm coming to get you.
Get busy living. Or get busy dying.
You are next.
And the thing is, after all these years, I still look back with wonder.
I told you I don't want no goddamn solar panels.
That was amazing. Troy, first off, before we had a very
it's you guys. Oh, I'm sorry about that.
Troy, we had a very chance encounter just the other day. We were able to meet at Fromin's Deli in Santa Monica, and it was what an amazing restaurant, man. I loved every second of it.
Well, thank you. Fromin's has been my entire life, and acting also.
Yeah, you took a 14-year break from acting. Talk about that and kind of what happened in your life and how you kind of made the comeback.
Before we get started, is your girlfriend there?
No, she's gone. You know what? She left me. She's thinking about moving to Santa Monica for you. So.
No, I'm talking. She's not there.
No, just Noah Groniger and I, my co-host.
Oh, I was just wondering what she was wearing.
Well, that's what we both can speculate on that. I mean, I'm wondering too, but.
All right, enough of that. What was your question again? I was thinking about your girlfriend. Sorry, bro.
I don't blame you. That's I almost left her with Mario Lopez while we were in LA. But your break. You took a 14-year break from acting. You did a lot of stuff. You did a lot of shows. Saved by the Bell to Wonder Years to Married with Children, and you were in a lot of things. Return of the Living Dead Part 2, which I'm a huge fan of. And you took a 14-year break. What happened?
Well, what happened was, I work for my dad. That pays the bills. And I had to break away here and there to go on auditions. And it got to the point where, he didn't have as much of he had to cut down on the crew. So he needed me there. Because, the restaurant business, gets, high cost in food and this and that. And you have to, you got to tighten up the budget. So, I had to be there, and going on auditions just killed him. So I had to miss auditions, and my manager got pissed off. So it graduated to a point to where I had to stay at work, and I couldn't pay my acting dues, and it just slipped away, unfortunately. But when I joined Facebook, I started getting from around the world all these people saying, "Where have you been?" And my family started, pushing me. So between the world and the family, and my dad agreeing finally, to be more lenient, because at the other location they had more. The Santa Monica location they had it was better business. So when I moved to Santa Monica area, I was able to afford to go to other auditions and finally get my SAG card, and I broke even. I got a Jim Beam commercial that sparked it all, a national Jim Beam, and then I just started my acting career is back up again. Is all I can say.
I'm so happy for you. I'm so glad. I mean, how often? Because I feel like Saved by the Bell fans in particular are so hardcore and so knowledgeable that. Do you get a lot of people that recognize you from the show? And I mean, of course, you're out there in LA. Do you get a lot of people that recognize you as Ox or Scud from Saved by the Bell?
Only a couple times, unfortunately. No. Once at Magic Mountain, yes, and once at a X-rated video store, the cashier saw me and started quoting lines from me. I was shopping for pornos back in the VHS days. But
Oh my gosh.
otherwise, nobody recognizes me. It's strange.
But you talked about getting on social media. I'm sure you've had a lot of people reach out to you, through that, and people like me that know you from the show and are just like want to reach out and talk to you. I mean, you gotta surely that has opened up at least opened up something for you.
It certainly has. I'm at the point now to where, because of my notoriety for Saved by the Bell, people are calling me and asking me to be in their stuff. I mean, I'm talking about low budget stuff, and I'm still trying out for mainstream TV and film, and once in a while I'll get something like Grey's Anatomy, Murder in the First, and things like that. But I'm doing well in the low budget community. I'm very well known, and I'm going to be doing a movie. I was invited to be in a movie called The Stalker in June, and they're flying me up and putting me up at a rental house with the other actors, and I'm co-starring as a guy named Craig, who may or may not be the stalker.
Ooh, some intrigue there, Troy. Well, we'll definitely be on the lookout for that. That's great to hear that you're going to be put up for that and starring in that. But you were in 9 episodes of Saved by the Bell. What was it like going back to work there, kind of randomly, spot duty? Were you welcomed back with open arms, or did you have friends that you hung out with each time there? Were there kind of cliques already formed, kind of making it hard to reacclimate each time you came back to the show?
Well, let me put it this way. I got a call to audition for the part of Scud, and I got it, and I did it, and it was great. And, to me, in my mind, Saved by the Bell, I never heard of it, and it's been on a kids show. So I'm like, okay, so then my manager called me. She goes, they love you, but they don't want that character any longer. They want you to be Ox, the dumb football player, but you have to go through the preliminary audition and try out for a couple lines. So I went down there, I did a couple lines, and they're all, yeah, you're Ox, that's it. They wanted me. I just had to prove that I could do a couple lines as a dumbass. So from there, it's like, I did one episode, the teacher-student week, and then they say, oh, we're going to put you on next week. And they go, like a couple weeks later, oh, we're going to, so they called me here and there. And then I was doing Wonder Years in between. And one week, I did Wonder Years, and then I did 2 Wonder Years in a row. And they wanted me for a third, but I already booked Saved by the Bell. So Wonder Years got pissed off and didn't call me anymore. But Wonder Years paid a lot more. So that was like, Wonder Years, Saved by the Bell, wanted me the same week. How cool is that?
Yeah, and it was the road test. You were in that episode in the Lunch Stories. We were talking about that. You played Slavosky in the Wonder Years, an amazing show, and you were on a couple episodes of that. And I mean, those were very memorable moments too, featuring you.
Yeah, working with little Fred Savage. He was like a little jokester in the back seat, always joking around. They're telling him, "Okay, Fred, stop it. We got to shoot this." I'll never forget it. It was a great moment. And we're in the one of those auto rigs where the car is on the truck, and we're driving around the streets of West LA, and people are looking at us like, "Oh, look at the big shots," and I felt like a big shot.
That is just stands out so much, and it's crazy that it was all taking place at the same time. And it's crazy because Troy, not a lot of people came back for a lot of episodes of Saved by the Bell. A lot of the characters, you had the seminal cast and the people we saw every week, but not many people were in 9 episodes. We talked to, for instance, Ryan Holohan, who played Sylvester Solomon, and he was in 3 or 4 episodes. And, a lot of the nerds were in 2 or 3, and they were all memorable. But you were in 9 and really stand out. Of course, that No Hope with Dope episode, you were Scud wearing your Slayer shirt, smoking a cigarette in the bathroom. But that was an important episode because it was talking about substance abuse and about smoking pot. And it was, one of the first times that Saved by the Bell had ever done something like that. It's a very important message to kids.
Yeah, and you know what? And after that, I went home and I smoked pot.
Yeah, with you and Johnny Dakota together, probably. But your character was not. You actually had a hot girlfriend in that episode too. That was the redhead girl, and you were going to go get they had a deal on dog collars or something, and you were going to go get a new dog collar.
Yeah, I'm surprised I learned all those lines that quickly. Today's day of age, I might not.
Well, I mean, it's Saved by the Bell was a kid show, but I mean, an episode about substance abuse was pretty heavy. I mean, was it kind of just another gig, or did you realize, wow, this is like an important kind of a moment because it reached so many people?
I knew it was important because let me get Brandon Tartikoff. Yeah, he did an important message at the end, so I knew it was kind of cool. And I was also in the drinking and driving episode, which led me to be in an interview with this guy Lee Gavin, who's writing a book about important messages in sitcoms. I think important, like when Tootie got raped, or someone got raped in The Facts of Life, and Archie's wife got raped, or things like that. Serious stuff.
Yeah, so drinking and driving. You're at a toga party, drunk. You crush a beer on your head, and kind of trying to portray that drinking the looks. So the people drinking looked ridiculous and drunk, and that they're really trying to go over the top with it. And then the rest of the gang gets in a wreck on the way home. But I always wonder what happened to Ox. I guess you just passed out there at the party, never to be seen again.
That was my favorite episode because the scene called for Ox's living room, and I grab the lamp and I say, "Hey everyone, let's trash this place." And Mario goes, "Hey, no, it's your house." I'm like, "Oh yeah." That was my favorite scene ever.
Well, Troy, going back to the No Hope of Dope episode, if you've gotten the DVD, listen to the commentary with Peter Engel, Dennis Haskins, Dustin Diamond, Lark Voorhees. When you first come on screen, they said, "Is that Ox? Is that Troy Fromin?" And they all agreed after that first scene that no, that's not him. It's not him. We're mistaken. Then the second time you come on screen talking about the dog collar, they say, "No, that is Troy." And they mention how great you were and they loved working with you, and mentioned you and your parents, Fromin's Deli out in California. So I just kind of want to let you know that they were confused at first, you being Scud, but then they realized you, and just what a pleasure it was working with Peter Engel, Dennis Haskins, and Dustin Diamond. Do you have any stories of working with them?
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, let me just say right now, my only bitter resentment, like Peter Engel comes up to me and goes, "Hey, Troy, we're gonna take you to the Hawaii movie, and get ready to go to Hawaii." Then they didn't call me because I guess they didn't want to spend the money flying me up there. But they should have used me for the college years. I would have been perfect, and I kind of resent that in the back of my mind.
Yeah, we've talked to Peter about the college years. I don't know that they had a very good streamlined idea for that because, they switched to prime time and they tried to make it work. The ratings weren't there. Peter always kind of considers the college years kind of a failure. So we have talked to him about that. So maybe because there was no
because they didn't have Troy.
That's right. I mean, I should have been there. I would be perfect as the college year doofus.
Obviously your character Ox was a football player, kind of a meathead football player. Did you grow up playing sports at all?
Actually, no, I did not.
You sure looked the part.
When I was in high school, the coach actually said to me, because I was in the workout room or whatever, "Hey, I can use you and the football team. Why don't you come and try out?" But I decided to get laid instead.
Always another good option.
Yeah, I had a girlfriend, and I went, "Oh, go practice football or go get whatever she wants me to do." Whatever I wanted her to do, she would do. And I chose that option.
Understandably. It's funny because you were in a bunch of we call it the Tory episodes of Saved by the Bell, the ones where Elizabeth Berkley and Tiffany Thiessen were not there, but Leanna Creel was there as Tori, and you were in season 5 featured a lot, like Drinking and Driving. You were in the school song, and Slater's Sister. We talked whenever I met you at the deli about the Slater's Sister episode where you're in that big circle with Mr. Belding and you're doing all the group, like Native American chant. What a funny moment that was.
Yeah, let me, since you bring that up, of all the episodes I've done and every scene, that was the only scene that I ever flubbed a line. and they had to and they had to reset and everything, and it was in front of a live audience. So I felt a little embarrassed, but I hit it the next time. But
what line? Do you remember what line?
Of the line, but that was my only time I did.
It was that. It was. Do you remember what the line was?
The one directed towards Dustin. One of the lines. I don't remember exactly. I mean,
yeah, it was something like.
For Christ's sake. What?
Yeah, it was something to the effect of like, I feel strangely close to you with Dustin Diamond, and you guys hugged.
It was one of those lines. I don't remember exactly which one.
Yeah, it was just this funny moment where you said, where I think Dustin Diamond said something to you like, "You mean Jock's hurt too?" And you said, "Oh, the bigger we are, the harder we cry."
Yeah, I remember that.
It's so funny. I mean, it's funny how those kind of moments stand out to people. Like for you, you're an actor in Hollywood and you're doing these shows and just trying to get out there and get your name out there. But it's funny isn't it funny how stuff like that, people will just throw those lines at you 25 years later. Isn't that crazy?
People quote my lines that I don't even remember.
Yeah. Yeah. It's unbelievable. You said that, the rest of the cast was kind of standoffish. Maybe they were in their own dressing rooms. And what was working on, because you were in a live audience situation, what was kind of working on the set like on Bell?
It was great. We went in for a table read one day. That was a quick day. The next day we did a blocking of where we're going to go and the lines. And then the final day, we did a rehearsal, and then they brought in the audience. And then it was great. The audience was great, man.
Yeah, it's just one of those shows that always stand the test of time, and you never know. I think Mark Paul Gosselaar was asked about a reboot the other day, so you never know. You got to put that 62 jersey back on, Troy. It may have to happen.
If they want me, they got me. I love acting, and it's great.
Well, I saw you at least you've been to Saved by the Max, I know. And I know you at least had ran into Elizabeth Berkley. I saw a picture of you two.
Yeah, I was at the Hollywood Bowl with my wife, and we were at the Bruno Mars concert. And my wife goes, "Oh, there's that guy from Raymond, Brad Garrett." So I run over to him. I was drunk off my ass. And I go, "Oh, can I take a picture with you? Can I take it?" He goes, No. Please, you're one of my idols. And his girlfriend or wife goes, "Come on, do it." And he goes, "Okay." So I come back to my seat. My wife's all, "Oh, look, the girl from Saved by the Bell that you're in." I run down to her, and I say, "Remember me from Saved by the Bell, Ox?" And then she goes, "Oh, maybe." So I've done 2 episodes with her. And then I reminded her. She goes, "Oh, yeah." So I took a picture with her. I come back to my seat. My wife goes, "Oh, look, it's the girl from The Big Bang Theory. She's over there." So, I run down to her and I take a picture with her. It's like the most exciting moment of my life. Only 3 people, and it was great.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's such a far-reaching show, and the things you've done. I mean, Married with Children was huge. Wonder Years was huge. I mean, I'm a big 80s horror fan, so Return of the Living Dead 2. You also did Phantasm 2, which is a crazy movie.
Yeah, I actually Phantasm is my favorite horror film of all time, and I was reading in the Reporter that Phantasm 2 was about to kick off, and I wrote a letter to Don Coscarelli. I mean, this is the time before Wi-Fi and cell phones and everything. So I wrote a letter, and then they called me and asked me if I wanted to be craft service, and I'm all, "What's craft service?" And making coffee and this and that, and I lived at home with my parents, rent-free, So I said, yeah, of course I'll do it. So I worked 2 months on Phantasm as a craft service, making coffee, this and that. And then Don's all, "Okay, Troy, this is your moment." And he put me in that grave digger suit.
Well, I'll tell you what, Troy, so as we look ahead here, as you look at your IMDb page, you've got a lot of stuff on here. We talked about The Stalker, but tell us a little bit about like It Wants Blood, Cadillac Respect, Christ Rising, Spoils of the Dead. What's going on with those?
Spoils of the Dead, I don't think it's ever going to be made. It was a short subject, and I tried out. Forget it. Spoils of the Dead, I don't know if they're ever going to make it. It's a short subject, and I don't, it's been going on for 6 years. And anyway, Christ Rising He is this guy, and he's like advertising. I said, "You got anything for me?" And he's all, "Yeah, but I can't pay you." And I was just getting into the business. So I play a store clerk, a crazy store clerk, and the next scene I play a pastor. So I mean, it's gonna be a crazy ass movie. I don't know what to think of it, because all this guy Ron Atkins has described as his movies are like LSD trips, and he's been working on it slowly for like at least 6 years now. So I don't know what to expect of it. Now, it wants blood. This guy, James Balsamo, I think that's how you say it, he contacted me and because of my reputation, and said, "Do you want to be in a scene with Eric Roberts?" I'm all, "Yeah." I'm all like, "Well, what's the pay?" He's all, I can't pay you. It's all my budget's tied up with Eric Roberts. If you want to be a scene with him, you got it. So, hell yeah. So I got a scene with me and Eric Roberts talking in a bar for a few minutes. And, I'm in a couple other scenes too. But just to be in a scene with Eric Roberts is paycheck enough for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's going to be awesome. I'm so glad that you're able to do these projects. And I'll tell you, it's just was really cool to run into you at Fromin's Deli. We were on our way to Santa Monica Pier, and I was like, you know what? We got to stop by and see Troy. So glad we did, man. And, this has just meant the world to us to have you on to talk some Saved by the Bell, talk about your career. Just continued success for you, Troy, man. We got to keep in touch, and we'll help you, promote anything you got coming out, man, anytime.
I appreciate that, man.
Anytime, man. It's just, it's a true pleasure to meet you, get a photo with you, because honestly, our page, our brand is called Saved by Nostalgia, because we're, so steeped in those wonderful moments and memories of the 80s and 90s. And you were a part of that in so many things, not just Saved by the Bell, but talked about Phantasm and Married with Children and Wonder Years. You're a part of that, man. And we just can't thank you enough. This is so cool for us.
You know how I got that part in Return of the Living Dead Part 2?
How?
I started out, they had an advertisement in the newspaper, wanted zombies and soldier extras. So I showed up with some brains from the supermarket, some cow brains. And I said, "You know what? I'll bite into these if you let me be a zombie." They're all, no. Just sign the page. You can be a zombie. Throw that in the trash. So I did nights, and I recruited my friends and my girlfriend at the time to be zombies and soldier extras, like maybe, like 5 or 6 nights in a row. And then I got a call out of the blue from Paula Fox, who appreciated me getting all those friends together for her, and asked me if I wanted to be the featured zombie truck, the Army truck driver. I'm all, hell yeah. So that took off from there, and I've been very famous for that too.
Troy, I tell you what, it's such a pleasure. We're going to be talking to you. We're going to be bringing you on using this interview throughout our Saved by the Bell review. Of course, we're doing it episode by episode. So when your episodes come up, which will be coming up soon, we will be using all this and much more. And when we do our Wonder Years stuff, we just need to keep in touch, man. And anything you need, we'll be glad to promote it for you. We're friends on social media and in real life. We met. It's all good. We're friends now. That's a good thing. And I love Fromin's Deli. If you're ever in Santa Monica, Fromin's Deli is amazing. I got the short stack pancakes and with bacon. My God, it's the biggest short stack I've ever seen. I couldn't even finish it, Troy.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad you all enjoyed that. And,
it was amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Troy.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Troy. We'll be in touch soon, my friend. Thank you so much.
By the way, your friend's girlfriend, was it a girlfriend or a wife?
My friend's girl, that was like his, I don't know, he called her his beach buddy, so I don't really know.
Well, she was hot too, but I don't want to say anything because he looked like he would kick my ass.
He's like the most laid-back person in the world. Like Cliff probably could kick somebody's ass, but like he's so laid back that like you could, I mean, he lives in LA, man. He's my buddy that lives out there. He dates whoever he wants. He doesn't stick to one girl. So, I mean, you're married though, right?
I just want the other girl to know that she's hot too. That's all.
We'll make sure we get that to her, Troy. Thanks so much, my friend. We'll talk soon.
Bye-bye.